So something I'm going to show you guys to set up is this element just here in the HUD. This shows you your poly count for certain objects that you have selected. You'll see here that I have a scene, a bit of a larger scene, so it's not just using one Maya file to make one object. It's got everything in here so far, which I'm kind of developing just to kind of block out the area and to know what it is that I'm building or how it's going to be laid out. Now, because of this, I have a lot of different values for the poly count, and what you'll notice is in this middle column just here it says 0, whereas if I was to click on an object I now have some values here, and that's specific to the object that I have selected. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of, you can see I've got some different angles here. I have a little mask over here on its own, so let's hit F to frame that, and I'm just going to isolate that so that we can kind of look at this on its own. So you'll see with this selected, I have all of these elements here. Over here, the vertices, this first column is telling me what I have in the entirety of the scene. So I have 74,000 odd vertices in that whole scene. Whereas this second value just here is telling me how many vertices I have for this specific object. That's the same for the edges. So this object has 6,200 edges. Faces, tries refers to the poly count of the object as well. So that's the main bits that you need to know. The reason why your poly count is referred to as tries is when you put an object into the engine, it kind of automatically converts that into tries rather than quads. So something you'll notice as I flick through, like face mode, for example, is the values just here in this column start to change. If I go to vertex mode, for example, and click here, then it will tell me here that I have one vertex selected on this model. This applies the same for faces. If I go to face mode, it's telling me I have one face selected. If I go to edge mode, the same again, so one edge selected. This can be really good for if you have duplicate vertices. A way that you can detect them is to go into vertex mode, just click and drag over it, and it'll tell me how many I have. Luckily I have one here, but a lot of the time if you accidentally extrude something and forget to move it, you can have double and it might tell you there's two. So that's a good way to work out problems. Now, by default, you may not have this up here, so where you need to go to get that would be up here in display. Then you're going to look for heads up display, and you're going to need to go and make sure that this box here, poly count, is ticked. You'll notice if I untick that, that will disappear for me. I'll remove my film gate just so you can see that a little clearer. So nothing here at the minute. If I go to display, heads up display, and just make sure poly count is ticked, I now get this area here. So just make sure you always have that active when you're working.